Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the safety data sheets that you guys are going to be accumulating for your own notebooks, and we'll kind of talk about how they're structured and what they're for. Okay, so first sheet, let's see. Okay, so for a few decades, the material safety data sheets, the MSDS, material safety data sheets, have been the backbone of OSHA's hazard communication standards. The hazard communication standard has recently been revised by OSHA to align with a global harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals. Okay, so let me kind of explain who these entities are. So OSHA stands for occupational, so that's kind of like the national administration to make sure that every company in the U.S. is just abiding by a certain set of health and safety regulations. Okay, so that's OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So I also said HCS, or Hazard Communication Standards. So the HCSs are a set of standards set by OSHA that companies in the U.S. have to abide by. And then the globally harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals is GHS. I know, a lot of acronyms, but in short, OSHA is the administration that makes sure things are safe, and HCS is the standards that are set by OSHA. Okay. So the SDS, the safety data sheets, again, formerly known as MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheets, and also you might see something called PSDS, which was Product Safety Data Sheets. So if you're working with something that's a little bit older, you might see MSDS or PSDS, but now it's just SDS. Okay. In short, they are intended to provide comprehensive information about a substance or mixture for use in a workplace chemical management. So, and I mean comprehensive too. You guys will see what I mean later. Why don't you guys open up the PDF I have on Blackboard of the SDS of Clorox bleach. This presentation should be a little bit easier if you have a sample SDS as a reference. Okay, so MSDSs or SDSs are documented, normally many pages long, that travel with or ahead of hazardous chemical shipments. In short, they warn users of the specific dangers of such products and guidance on their safe handling, storage, and disposal. So it'll always come with or before. Doesn't really do much good if it comes afterwards. Okay, so here's the breakdown. The GHS formatted SDS has 16 sections below. Nearly every chemical that we'll be working with has a GHS format. It's our international classification of labeling chemicals. So 16 sections, and we're going to go through each one, starting with number 1, identification. Okay, so this includes the product identifier, manufacturer or distributor name, address, phone number, emergency phone number, recommended use, restrictions on use. So this is the most fundamental information on a product that you're going to need. It's also the most important. Side note, this is organized by most important or most frequently used. Okay, section 2, hazards identification. So this includes all hazards regarding the chemical required label elements. Section 3, composition/information on ingredients. So this is information on chemical ingredients, including trade secret claims. It just lets you know what is in your solution, chemically speaking. Section 4 is first aid measures. So if you do something with that chemical that maybe you should not have, Section 4 is a good place to start looking. This includes important symptoms, effects, acute or delayed, and required treatment. Section 5, firefighting measures. This lists suitable extinguishable techniques, equipment, chemical hazards from fire. Right? Not everything can be extinguished with water. So sometimes if you're working with an acid that might be on fire, there are certainly other techniques that you might want to implement. Okay, Section 6, accidental release measures. So this lists emergency procedures, protective equipment, and proper methods of contaminant and cleanup. Section 7, handling and storage. Lists precautions for safe handling and storage, including incompatibilities. Section 8, exposure controls, personal protection. So this is the section where they list OSHA's permissible exposure limits, threshold limit values, appropriate engineering controls, and personal protective equipment. So in short, you're going to be exposed to these things, but at what point does it turn dangerous? And they should let you know. Section 9, physical and chemical properties. This lists the chemicals' characteristics. Section 10, stability and reactivity. This lists the chemical stability and possibility of hazardous reactions. Section 11, toxicological information. This includes routes of exposure, related symptoms, acute and chronic effects, numerical measures of toxicity. Section 12, ecological information. So there's an asterisk here since other agencies regulate this information, OSHA will not be enforcing sections 12 through 15 because it's really information that only that company will know. Section 13, disposal considerations. Section 14, transport information. Section 15, regulatory information, and Section 16, other information. This could include the dates of preparation or last revision, really any other information that the company thinks you guys should know. Okay, so 16 sections. This sums up the SDS sheets. So every material that you will be working with in class should have an SDS sheet with it, and if not, then you guys will be making one. Don't forget, at the end of the semester, you will be turning in your notebooks filled with SDS sheets of materials that you have worked with throughout this entire semester. All right, guys, see you in class.